discounts, big selection, and really big deals. It's the big pre-owned sale. Only at Premier Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Pre-owned vehicles start at $29.95. Over 50 vehicles under $15,000. $29 down. And you can drive today or take advantage of payments starting at $99 a month. That's $29 down. And payments starting as low as $99. From Montgomery to Dothan, the best pre-owned deal are at Premier Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram or online at PremierChrysler.com. Nobody beats a Premier deal. Nobody.
Trojan Auto Parts of Troy, home of Napa Know-How. Stop by and see owners Mike and Melissa Kilcrease and their Napa Know-How team with over 100 years of combined experience. We're the only locally owned parts store in Pike County, and we're fully stocked and ready to serve you. We pride ourselves on being your go-to parts store, not only for the simple items, but we specialize in those hard-to-find items as well. Trojan Auto Parts, the right part at the right price at the right time. Napa, a name you've trusted here in Troy since 1945.
Know-how, Napa Know-how.
At Marguerite's, we've been designing and crafting custom jewelry for 4 generations. It's an art for master jewelers. There's really no room for error. It doesn't matter how big the diamond is. You don't expect anything less than perfection. What matters is quality, beauty, and value. After all these decades, your engagement ring is still our greatest pride. Marguerite's exquisite jewelry.
At the Piggly Wiggly, we proudly support our local farmers and bring you the best they have to offer, all at cost plus 10%. When you shop local, you reinvest in your community. Remember, buy local, shop local. Piggly Wiggly, local since forever.
Do you want a good truck driving job? Do you want to drive for the best? Then drive for Wiley Sanders Truck Line. We have good benefits. We have good home time. We have Blue Cross Blue Shield. We match your 401k up to 4%. You can start in the 401k retirement plan after 30 days of employment. You need to drive for Wiley Sanders Truck Line. It's time for you to think about you and your family's future. Wiley Sanders Truck Line. $1,000 sign-on bonus? These guys did.
You go live, is that okay? All right.
Yeah.
Welcome to Today in LA. My name is Bill Rice, and I am sitting in Mike's desk this morning because Mike is in Panama City Beach, Florida, at his beach house, but he's joined me on the phone. Mike, how are you doing?
Good, great, man. It's beautiful. I'm watching the sun arise from the east and the beautiful Gulf of Mexico. It was rough last night. It got a little rough, but it's calmed down, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful setting here in Panama City. And of course, it's always beautiful when you be at the beach. And Rice, of course, we appreciate you being there to take over from your end of it. Of course, we were waiting for Neil to come in. We might have to reschedule that for Friday if it works that way.
Okay.
But boy, we had a lot of fun getting ready for Iron Bowl and also for the Appalachian State Troy game. Rice, it doesn't get any bigger than this as far as football goes.
Well, we won't have any problem talking football today, will we?
No, I don't think we will either. And in fact, we're waiting for Mike Amos to call from Great Beach, where he's about 20 miles down the road from where I'm calling from this morning. He and I will be gathering together for Thanksgiving on Thursday, and then I will be back in maybe even in the studio on Friday. We'll have to find out and see what we're going to do. We're going to do a call-in show, and of course, with Thanksgiving coming up, Rice, what are your plans so far?
We're going to go to my mother-in-law's in Montgomery. Carrie, my wife, will make a few dishes, and I'm going to go pick up my dressing from Sisters this afternoon.
Yeah, man, listen, you
and my gravy.
By getting that dressing.
So I'll be a popular fellow for doing that.
I really wonder, when I came down from Troy, what was more important, me or the dressing?
Hold on, let me put you on hold while I pick up Michael. Here you go. Do I have Michael Amos and Mike Amos on the line?
Yeah, man. And Mike, I might have made a boo-boo. I might not have got the word to Neil about this. Neil won the contest last week, Mike, with a phenomenal impressive in a long time. He was 29-3. 29-3.
That is
That's
awesome.
pretty good, wasn't it?
Yeah, that is good picking scores.
That would be.
You were not far back. You were well, let's see. Yeah, you were 23 and 6. You weren't very far back. So let's say that.
Neil might be on the road traveling today. You never know.
You were 24-8. You were 24-8. I was 22-10.
Well, a lot of people might be on the road traveling, so let's wish safe travels to everybody. I always tell my wife, use the 3-second rule. Don't get too close to the person in front of you, and slow down on these wet roads. And let's all have a safe Thanksgiving.
Is it raining in Troy?
It looks like it's getting ready to. It's overcast. I don't know if it's really started yet.
Well, it's
I think it's sunny and 76 is the beach. If anybody wants to come down.
Well, how many people are down there? A lot of people do Thanksgiving at the beach.
Oh my goodness, it's packed on 30A down in Graydon. I mean, there's probably about, on a normal day when it's kind of calm, there's probably about 3 or 4 people on bikes. There's probably about 500 people on bikes down here right now.
What about Panama City, Mike?
Now, a fun thing to do now, I'll be coming over to your place for Thanksgiving. Now, we're gonna go out on the ocean. We're going to get in the pickup truck and ride out on the ocean, or what we're going to do?
Yeah, let me know when you get close. I'll call the security gate.
And I'll corrected me. She said Gov.
I'll get the security gate to let you in when you get closer, okay?
Okay.
Y'all aren't riding out on the ocean. Y'all might ride out on the beach.
Yeah, we're gonna definitely ride out on the beach tomorrow, I would imagine, with the girls. Let them run around a little bit.
See if Steve can get some info into Neil, and maybe we can get.
I was listening to Chip Lindsey's press conference yesterday, and he mentioned a couple of times. He was talking to some of the fifth-year seniors, and they said when we first got here, our first year we were 4-8. So I guess that's looking at this in a positive direction. Neil Brown's first team was 4-8. Of course, he took over some really horrible teams that Coach Blaney had his last 3 or 4 years. So Chip Lindsey, I guess, going 5-7 his first year. If they do lose to Appalachian State, it won't be the end of the world. You just basically are rebuilding the wall, I guess.
Yep.
Well, you're right. That wasn't the motto of this group, but I'll tell you this right now, y'all, and however it sounds. I've got a feeling about this game. I'm thinking that Troy is going to play this game very similar to the way they played the Georgia Southern game. Nobody really gave much of a chance against Georgia Southern. Don't you agree?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, the only issue here is Appalachian State is 10-1, and they've been dominant on the road this year. I mean, you go to North Carolina and you win, you go to South Carolina and you win. I mean, those aren't teams that are having unbelievable years, but those are still Power 5 programs.
I'd play both those teams, though, Mike. North Carolina and South Carolina and Troy.
One good news is the star wide receiver for Appalachian State tore his ACL last week, Corey Sutton, who's probably the top receiver in the Sun Belt, out for the year. So that's a weapon they won't have when they play Troy.
That is something to consider. Looking at Troy.
I just worry about the crowd, though. I mean, I would say at best Troy will have 15,000 people there, and that might be too many.
Yeah.
Let me tell you this. It's a huge game. In fact, I put it up there with some of the big games that we've had over the years. For Troy, as far as going to a bowl game, it's very important. And I think they match up a lot better with App State than they did with Louisiana, especially the balance. I don't think App State will have near the balanced attack that was a very impressive Louisiana team, Mike.
The players in the press conference yesterday said how nervous they were before the game, and that they weren't loose, and that they were just extremely nervous, and they felt like that really affected their play. So,
I bet it did if they were like that.
Let's look at the Sun Belt Conference standings in football, and let's see who's bowl eligible right now. Lafayette is 9-2, so they're of course bowl eligible. eligible, they're going to win the Western side and go to the conference championship. Arkansas State is 7-4. What a great year. Blake Anderson, his wife, passed away of breast cancer before the season, and he missed the first couple of games and got a chance to go 8-4. La Monroe is 5-6, so they've got an outside chance to get into a bowl as well. Texas State's out of it.
Who do they play, Mike? Who do they play?
They'll play Lafayette.
They're 5-6, and they play. They're gonna have trouble beating Lafayette. Where's that game played?
That game I think is gonna be played at Lafayette. I'll have to look and see.
Okay. All right.
But then you got Texas State, and then you got South Alabama as well. Of course, those are teams that are out up. South Alabama, is going to have to make a serious decision on their coaching situation. Unfortunately, we know those guys very well. And then you got.
Did they play? Did they play out good, or did they play Lafayette good?
They played Lafayette good. They got beat by out 30-3. Then you got Appalachian State 6-1, 10-1 overall. Georgia State, your favorite team, is 7-4. Then you got Georgia Southern, they're 6-5, and then you got Troy 5-6, and you got Coastal Carolina 4-7. So there's a lot of teams that are bowl eligible, and there's a lot of teams that could become bowl eligible this weekend. So it's no guarantee Troy's going to make a bowl game.
Are there 3 or 4 bowls that Troy can go to? Is that right?
You got the Camellia Bowl, you got the Dollar General Bowl, and God knows I wish I would have invested in stock in Dollar General. And then you've got the greatest bowl of them all, the New Orleans Bowl. And then you got the Cure Bowl in Orlando, and then you've got some mysterious bowl game in Arizona that's a Sun Belt tie-in. Next year, you'll have the Myrtle Beach Bowl, but not until next year.
Yeah. Well, how many is that? Is that 5 bowl games that we're have?
That's 5. That's 5. Yeah.
All right. So, how many right now do you think are taken up? We know.
I mean, right now you've already got 5 teams. You've already got 5 teams that are bowl eligible right now: App State, Georgia Southern, Lafayette, and Arkansas State. And you could have La Monroe, and you could have Troy.
Well, let me ask you this: if Troy did win and becomes a bowl eligible, would they have a bowl there for them?
That's what his point is, that maybe they wouldn't. Yeah. It's no sure thing.
All about Johnny Williams, and in the Camellia Bowl, do they want the crowd?
Yeah.
And I think the Troy crowd would go to Montgomery, but I don't see the Troy crowd going to any of these other bowl games, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, Montgomery's your only shot.
Well, and another thing, too, I don't think Georgia State gets hurt because they wouldn't bring a lot of people. And
but they've won 7 games. You can't hold a team out.
That'd be a travesty not to let them go, wouldn't it?
And they beat Troy by 21 points when they played.
Yeah. Mike, would Troy even have a chance?
I don't know. Let's get Johnny Williams on the phone. He's your best friend. Let's call him up. Let's see what he says.
Well, it would be very interesting to find out. We might, on break, think about that. Want everybody to realize that we're going to give away a Yeti cooler this morning. We're going to do that. So that's going to be a nice little gesture. Brought to you by Premier Dodge Chrysler Jeep and Ram Trucks on the bypass, and Jason and all the great people. Boy, what a wonderful citizen Jason Gregory is. He has done so many things to support so many different organizations. He's just got through with a big fundraiser for the hospital here in Troy, and he's already done so much for education. And we just appreciate Premier Dodge Chrysler Jeep and Ram Trucks. And Mike, they'll beat anybody's deal. Anybody.
Yeah, he's really been great for the city of Troy, and does a lot for the community. And you did a really good job coming on the show. I wish you'd come back on, hopefully for bowl season.
Yeah, in fact, we might look at this as the Pickett show on Friday. Do you think we could do that?
There's no need to do a Pickett show on Friday.
Okay,
you talking about this Friday?
Yeah, I was thinking about it.
We'll do the bowl season We can do the bowl season starting next week.
We'll start next week with the bowl.
Well, you're going to have all those conference championship games next week.
Yeah, you're going to have conference championship games that, I mean, you might want to do, but, I mean, it's just that, you know, everybody should be back in Troy next week, I would think, and you ought to be able to just do normal shows.
Yeah, no question about it. No problem. Of course, the game with Alabama is a 2:30 game on Saturday, ladies and gentlemen, where Alabama and Auburn go. You know, let me tell you my feeling about this. How many times over the years have you expected Alabama not to do well, and then they come out and do very well? This is a great situation or a great setting for Alabama as far as the mindset goes. You know,
I think the only time that's happened recently.
Auburn people are expecting much more from their team than normal. What do you think?
I don't know. I mean, the only time I remember Alabama going into an Iron Bowl recently, I mean, I felt confident every year Saban's been the coach, except basically his first year, which you knew you were going to get beat. But I mean, I guess the most shocking that I can remember is Andrew Zal, Franchone's first year, came in, and not only did Alabama go to Auburn as a huge underdog, but they blew out Auburn. That was one of the more shocking ones. The most shocking on the other side, though, is when Auburn came Franchone's last year with a little running back named Trey Smith, who just ran up and down the field on Alabama. Alabama was like a 15-point favorite.
Yeah, that was Franchone's
he wasn't even a starter, was he?
Fourth string.
He wasn't even a starter.
He was fourth string.
I mean, he'll go down in Auburn history as, I mean, one of the greatest performances of all time.
I think
he wasn't the third string tailback?
Fourth string, if I remember correctly. He was their fourth string running back.
I mean, I guess a lot of people thought 2 years ago, though, it could happen, you know, when Hurts came in there and Alabama came back from a miracle finish against Mississippi State. A lot of people didn't feel good about that one, and they were right.
Let's talk a little bit about the heroes of the Alabama-Auburn game. You remember the running back, I want to say his number was 29. Who is that, Rice? Number 29.
That was Dennis Riddle that caught the winning touchdown pass.
Dominated.
Yeah, I was at that game. Freddie Kitchens brought Alabama back from 20 points down.
And Riddle scored on a sweep to the left. Is that right?
Little swing pass.
Gabe Gross was the quarterback for Auburn that day.
Yeah, I remember that so well. And Alabama pulled that one out.
Well, the sad thing about it is before the game, the rumor had come out even in the stadium that, you know, this was before technology and cell phones and stuff like that it was going to be Stalin's last game. So there was already emotion all over that stadium.
It was a big victory.
Still one of the worst things that ever happened to Alabama's program is Stalin's leaving early. You know, he could have coached 3 or 4 more years for sure.
Oh, yeah.
He had a great winning percentage, if you look it up and research it. And then he really had his team in position to play for another championship. Jay Barker's senior year, Alabama was undefeated. I think they were number 2 or 3 in the country.
Oh, yeah. If you don't have a conference championship game, Alabama plays for the national championship, but they got beat by Florida.
In the last minute. And you remember in that game, Alabama scored late in the fourth quarter to take the lead, went up by 1 point. Stallings elected to kick the extra point, went up by 2 points. Or they went up by 5 points. I don't know. But if Stallings would have gone for 2, when Florida scored that last-minute touchdown, they would have just tied the game instead of beating Alabama. It was strange. There's a coaching error, really, on Coach Stallings' part.
I remember the first SEC.
Almost won 70 games in 7 years. That was pretty good. I mean, it's not Saban good, but it was pretty good.
Very good.
No question about it. He's the most intimidating coach, maybe not only in Alabama history, but in SEC history. Can you remember other than Coach? You know, Coach Bryant was dominant, but boy, he wasn't like old Stallings. People were scared to death of Stallings. Do you remember that?
Well,
you know how hard-nosed Stallings was.
Yeah.
I know he was tough on his assistant coaches. Boy, he would tear into his assistants on the sidelines.
But he's a prince of a human being, though.
People said that people that officiated, and some of my good friends said Stallings was hard to officiate for. He would get all over you. You know, he was real intimidating.
You know, you talk talk about his record, Michael, that was back before you had 12 regular season games, too. So it's all kind of relative. That was back when they were still playing 11 games. He had
I've enjoyed down here the Jay Barker shows down in Destin, Fort Walton Beach, and I listen to Jay Barker every day down here, and he has a lot of the former guys from those teams on his show, like Sam Shade's on a lot, Antonio Langham's on a lot. So kind of fun to hear those guys. Those are kind of my favorite players growing up.
A little go back into memory lane here. I remember a cold afternoon in Birmingham, Alabama at Legion Field, the first ever SEC championship game between Florida and Alabama. And Mike, we were looking for, we had the hardest time. We always been able to get in a tent, but we had a hard time getting in a tent. Finally, I think we got in a tent for a game. And what happened and how did Alabama win that game? I remember it so well.
Well, I mean, Langham intercepted the pass from Shane Matthews and pretty much won the game. Alabama was trailing pretty much the whole time.
And Alabama won the first SEC championship game with Langham returning a interception back for a touchdown. Florida dominated that entire game. You remember that?
No, not the entire game. I watched it the other day. They dominated for a while in the fourth quarter, third quarter, but Alabama was dominating early on.
They had Eric Redd at running back, who was a great player for Florida. I mean, that Florida team was not very good. What were they, 7-4, Bill, or 7-3, or 8-3?
I think they had 3 losses coming to that game, but they were good. I mean, they were the power then, and they'd lost some close games to good teams. So
yeah, how did they get in with that record?
Well, it's the East and the West.
Yeah, so they probably beat Tennessee.
That was the first time that you had a SEC championship game. So Alabama played. Counting the bowl game, they played 13 ball games that year.
I have mixed feelings about Antonio Langham because he was, of course, the player that got Alabama that awful NCAA probation by signing with a sports agent and then lying about it.
Signing on a he signed with an agent on a napkin. How crazy is that?
After the Sugar Bowl national championship game, then he didn't tell anybody. And he lied about it. I think now with this fair pay to play legislation, that would be legal. If players can be paid for their name, image, and likeness, they can have agents to represent them. So the NCAA would have no standing to sanction Alabama after this law comes into effect in 2023.
Yeah. Let's see if we can take a little break here, and we'll be back with more of Premier Dodge Chrysler Jeep Picks of the Week on Troy Cable.
Discounts, big selection, and really big deals. It's the big pre-owned sale. Only at Premier Chrysler Dodge Jeep brand. Pre-owned vehicles start at $29.95. Over 50 vehicles under $15,000. $29 down. And you can drive today or take advantage of payments starting at $99 a month. That's $29 down. And payments starting as low as $99. From Montgomery to Dothan, the best pre-owned deal are at Premier Chrysler Dodge Jeep brand or online at PremierChrysler.com. Nobody beats a Premier deal. Nobody.
Trojan Auto Parts of Troy, home of Napa know-how. Stop by and see owners Mike and Melissa Kilcrease and their Napa know-how team with over 100 years of combined experience. We're the only locally owned parts store in Pike County, and we're fully stocked and ready to serve you. We pride ourselves on being your go-to parts store, not only for the simple items, but we specialize in those hard-to-find items as well. Trojan Auto Parts, the right part at the right price at the right time. Napa, a name you've trusted here in Troy since 1945.
Know-how, Napa know-how.
At Marguerite's, we've been designing and crafting custom jewelry for 4 generations. It's an art for master jewelers. There's really no room for error. It doesn't matter how big the diamond is. You don't expect anything less than perfection. What matters is quality, beauty, and value. After all these decades, your engagement ring is still our greatest pride. Marguerite's exquisite jewelry.
At the Piggly Wiggly, we proudly support our local farmers and bring you the best they have to offer, all at cost plus 10%. When you shop local, you reinvest in your community. Remember, buy local, shop local. Piggly Wiggly, local since forever.
Do you want a good truck driving job? Do you want to drive for the best? Then drive for Wiley Sanders Truck Line. We have